we move on because the Champions League squad has just been announced. And we were talking yesterday about potentially with the rule of leaving out Kinski. Well, Kinski is in the squad, people. So the squad is Vicario, Kinski, Brandon Austin, Kevin Danso, Destiny Adogi, Kuti Romero, Pedro Porro, Jed Spence, Ben Davis, Mickey van der Ven. So no Dragoshin, no Kota Takai. In the midfield, we've got Palhinha, Simons, Gray, Berg, Valkudas, Johnson, Odebear, Pape Sarr, and Bentancur. No Kulusevski, no Maddison. And up top, we've got Richarlison, Solanke, and Muani. No Mathys Tel in the squad.
No Tel in the squad.
Well.
So, I mean,
so all those debates we were having yesterday.
And he picked none of them. He picked none of them. Oh, man. I don't know about that, man. I understand it's a risk to leave out Kinski, but with that rule, like, I think you've got a bit of an out there. And I feel like he's left out Mathys Tel just in case. What is it just in case? In case Vicario is out for like under a month or gets sent off or something. And so he can't bring in Kinski at that point. I'm gutted for him. I am gutted for him. But look, hopefully he takes it well, and hopefully he knuckles down and wants to prove a lot of people wrong. But, you know, he's a new signing who we've put a lot of belief, well, essentially we've, you know, want to put a lot of belief in. We signed him in the summer, a young player who's come here to play, like, because he's left Bayern to get more regular game time, and now he's been left out of the Champions League squad. So I hope he's look, if he's got a good head on his shoulders and he doesn't spit his dummy out the pram and he reacts to it well, it's going to be a good learning curve for him. But I don't like the message it sends to him. But I understand where Frank's coming from. He feels like he needs to put Kinski in there. I think the rule gives him an out. He clearly doesn't feel like that.
Yeah.
Unless I'm missing something with the rule.
We did say yesterday on the way in, do you think Spurs know this rule?
Yeah, we did say that. So, I don't know.
And yeah, maybe they do, maybe they don't. I'm surely a multi-billion pound industry like Tottenham Hotspur don't leave.
I mean, I pointed out on Twitter yesterday, or X, so I put a tweet out, so they should have known it by then. They should have known it. If I know it. But obviously, this is on the UEFA website. I'm assuming it's confirmed.
It is confirmed.
Did the Spurs put it out?
Have Spurs put it out? I mean, look, why would UEFA miss out on these players?
Don't know. Oh, Spurs official yet? Have they put it out yet?
Yeah, this is the official squad, people. This is the official squad. Mathys Tel has been missed out, and I think to leave Tel out made sense in terms of if you were going to add one of the defenders, but they clearly don't think that Kota Takai is ready. They clearly don't think Dragoshin's going to be here. Recover his ACL in time to make an impact. And I said only add them in if you think one of them can play or make an impact. They obviously don't think that that's the case. So, yeah, I don't know. I think you got to do it on a meritocracy level, and I think it's right that they've added Odebear in over Mathys Tel, and we've got enough options on the wing to leave Mathys out.
I mean, profile-wise, you've got Johnson and Muani now who play in that role similarly to what Tel probably offers there in terms of like goal-scoring threat from the left-hand side. So you probably, if you're picking between Odebear and Tel, Odebear is the kind of profile you don't have on that side. So it makes sense to put Odebear in. Obviously, and he's playing better as well at the moment. So I can understand that. I think it's obviously a massive blow for him. I'm gutted for him. I know he hasn't been great since he's come, but I'm gutted that it's come to this where he's ended up being left out of the squad after signing for good big money not long ago, and in the first big moment he's not made the Champions League squad. So I'm gutted for him.
We all knew like hard decisions are going to have to be made, and this is just one of those hard decisions. I'm sure in an ideal world he wouldn't want to have to leave him out. But this is where the squad's at the moment. This is what poor squad planning gets you. You have to make these kind of decisions. And this is where we're at.
I mean, he could have left out Kinski.
We should never have signed Tel in the first place.
He could have left out Kinski. So I didn't understand that. I don't understand why he's included Kinski. Where if Vicario got injured for a big like last season, you can always put him back in. So it doesn't make too much sense to me. I think you just put Tel in and you take Kinski out. Or if you're going to do that, because we've left ourselves short at the back anyway now with taking out Dragoshin and Takai. And also, what do we do in January once Decky's in? Got a lot of decisions to make in January as well. But look, hopefully Tel just hopefully he doesn't take it too badly, and hopefully he sees it as an opportunity to work even harder. And
look, he's a professional at the end of the day. He's a professional. He'll knuckle down, and he'll try his best in the Premier League. He'll get the minutes in the cup competitions as well. And it's up to him now to make an impact and to force his way back into that squad after the group stages. It's up to him now. Everything's on him. He needs to make an impact. And he hasn't done that since coming in.
Can't disagree with that. That's the truth. So he has to take this as a learning curve. And look, he's still young, he's only 20. You're going to have these setbacks in your career.
He's had a lot of setbacks. He's got a whole career ahead of him. He's so young. Like, yes, it will be a disappointment, but it's nothing that's not salvageable. Like, he shouldn't think about now, oh, I'm not in the Champions League squad. My time here is done. No, this is the time that you double down. This is the time that you work even harder. He needs to come back into the reckoning. So, and I'm sure he'll do that in terms of Premier League. There's still so many minutes, so many big games that he can take part in.
Yeah, there's a lot of games, and he'll get opportunities. Well, obviously, it's going to be a blow. I'm sure he's going to see it is a blow. There's no other way to look at it. It's obviously you signed for 30 million, and Spurs have convinced you to come here from Bayern Munich because we're saying, come here, you'll play, you'll develop, blah blah blah, and we believe in you. Yes, he had a poor 6 months, right? We can all agree on that. But Tottenham took that decision to sign him, right? After those 6 months, we didn't have to sign him. Okay, so we convinced him Tottenham's the place for you, and he's been left out of the Champions League squad within a few weeks. So obviously that's a massive blow to him, and he's not going to be looking favourably on that situation. But I agree. Look, hopefully it's a blow, but hopefully he takes it as a learning curve. He's still 20. You have these setbacks in your career, and you learn from them, and hopefully it fuels you. That's what I hope.
It will. It will fuel him. I think he's an ambitious player. And I think that he knows he's a young player making his name. At Bayern Munich, he had a few setbacks. He had to leave Bayern Munich in search of first-team football. It hasn't happened here. But he's got to make it happen. The only person that can make it happen is Mathys Tel. And I think he's professional enough to knuckle down now and try and provide his worth for the team. And look, if he's not getting game time by the end of this season, or even by January, then there could be another conversation to have here saying, look, I'm not in the Champions League squad. I'm not getting game time in the league. I'm sure he'll get Doncaster game. But if that is the case, come January or come the end of the season, then he'll probably want to move.
From just an objective point of view, though, forgetting feelings and everything, you've just signed a player for 40 million. You've left him out of the Champions League squad. It's a horrendous look on us.
Yeah, and I think that is down to the decision makers that signed him, because I don't think it was a smart decision to sign him. I think that we were clearly looking for a left winger in the last stage of the window. Frank wasn't even here when we signed Mathys Tel. Why not wait until a manager comes in to assess all the options? I know when Frank came in, he spoke highly of Tel and said of the positions that he can play and blah, blah, blah. But it wasn't a Frank signing, was it? It wasn't a signing that had the handprints of Thomas Frank. It was a club signing. So that's what you get when you make club signings. Like I know Jed Spence's worked out for the best in everyone's interest by now, but when he came in under Antonio Conte, he was a club signing and Conte didn't want to use him. So that's the drawbacks of making club signings.
And look, at the end of the day, it's a horrendous look on Tottenham to have signed someone this summer for a decent amount of money and not put him in the Champions League squad. That's a sad indictment on our squad planning, to be honest, because if you would have told, obviously that wasn't the plan, was it, to be in this position? You didn't sign him for 30 million, so he couldn't play in the Champions League. We've been left in this position because of how we've gone ahead and planned, and this shows to me that we're still lacking in that area when it comes to really forward thinking and squad planning and really knowing who's going to take which role in the squad and deciding these things. Clearly, we've got a lot of things wrong still there.
You think about it though, like if we did sign another left winger,
Odegaard would have been out.
Mad, like, or maybe we would have exercised that Kinski thing if we did bring in another left winger. But
I just feel like, is it not worth the risk to add Tel in for the Kinski thing? I don't know. It makes sense to me, but clearly either they don't know the rule or they don't think it's worth the risk.
Yeah. But look, I don't think it's going to impact too much, Tel being there or Tel not being there. That's the reality at this stage. So we've got enough options on the left wing. And I think that if you had the choice of deploying Odebear there, deploying Brennan there, deploying Javi Simons there, and all the different options, would Tel have got much minutes in the Champions League anyway?
He might have. I just think it makes sense. It just makes sense when you just purely look at profiles, forgetting who's the best and who's not. If you just look at the profiles in the squad, you're obviously not going to leave Brennan out. You've just signed Moani, so you're not going to leave those out. And those two could, do the job that Tel can do, really, on the left. That's the kind of player he is. He's kind of like a left forward, player who can score goals off the left-hand side. And Moani can play up front just like Tel can. So if it's a choice between having a creator or another third goal scorer, you choose the creator because we don't have a creator on the left. It just makes sense.
Well, the decision has been made. Thomas Frank has made that hard decision of leaving Mathys Tel, Kota Takai, Yves Bissouma, Radu Dragusin, James Maddison, and Dejan Kulusevski out the squad. So
it's going to be interesting, I feel, come January. Yeah, it's going to be interesting if he's not getting that much game time, Tel, if we try and move him on in January again, which, again, for him, considering he moved last January from Bayern, again, it's not a great look for him. But look, I believe he's got good quality, and I believe in him. But I just think right now we don't have a great plan for him, it seems, to develop.
No. And I think it clearly states as well where Frank's head at is between Tel and Odebear. That tells you everything you need to know. That Odebear is well in front of Mathys Tel in the pecking order. He always comes on before Mathys Tel in the games as well. And I think Odebear has shown more than Mathys, to be honest. And that's just where we're at. But again, we're not on the training pitch. We don't see what kind of value he's having in training and how good he's looking and everything like that. So all we can see is what we've seen on the pitch, and what we've seen on the pitch is a lack of quality. So that's where it's at with Mathys Tel. But obviously with Yves Bissouma, that even more confirms in my mind that we're going to try and look to move him on to a Turkish or a Saudi club before the end of the window. It tells me that we're not going to be seeing Radu Dragusin anytime soon, albeit there were rumours that he was going to be back in training in 2 weeks. Frank did say 2 months in terms of being back fully fit. And Decky, we're not going to be seeing him for a long time as well. So,
and also it kind of tells me that he don't know how much he rates Kota Takai.
Yeah, that as well. So another club signing probably. So that is the Champions League squad. We've been waiting so long for it, and there it is. But I want to know your thoughts on the Champions League squad. Was it fair to leave out Mathys Tel? Should he have exercised that option to leave Kinski out the squad and to use an emergency change if a goalkeeper does get injured to bring him back in? I want to know all your opinions in the comment section below. But that is the eagerly anticipated Champions League draw.